Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the EZA for Teq Bulla. So we're going to be taking a look at just how good Teq Bulla is as a unit after her Extreme Z Awakening on DBZ Dokkan Battle Global. And Bulla, well, she gets quite a nice revamp. She's a bit more interesting than some of the other ones. She's not so you know, like tight cast, I want to say, but she's also a bit more difficult to utilize. It seems like her best team is probably going to be GT Heroes. She's a AGL and tech type key 3 and attack and defense of 90% lead. She has defense at 88% and an additional defense of 88% when performing a super attack. She gives all allies attack of 3 and, allies key of 3 and attack of 40%. Attack and defense of 20% up to 40%, and chance of evading the enemy's attack, including super attack plus 35% up to a max of 70% per Pepe Gal's category ally on the team. Key plus 3 and the chance of performing a critical hit of plus 18% when there is an ally whose name includes Vegeta attacking in the same turn. She also gains 88% attack. So overall she looks pretty solid. In terms of her super attack effect, she massively raises attack and lowers the enemy's attack and defense. She has Battlefield Diva, the Innocence Royal Lineage, Money, Saiyan Lineage, GT, and Shattering the Limit as her key links, and she's on Bond of Parent and Child, GT Heroes, Hybrid Saiyans, Pepe Girls, Siblings Bond, Vegeta's Family, and Youth. Ideally, to secure all her bonuses, you want her on Bond of Parent and Child, GT Heroes, or Vegeta's Family. Obviously, as you can imagine, that's quite difficult to do to fulfill all the requirements. So ideally what you're going to want to do is instead you can kind of look to run her as just a floating support on any of the other categories. So even though she won't get her full attack buff, it's not entirely necessary. You can run her. She's still great as a support with decent defense, with 70% evasion if you've got 2 Pepe Girls, which isn't too hard to do on most of her teams. And obviously with her giving key plus 3 and attack of 40%, it's a pretty nice support buff for her to be giving out. So although we're going to be fulfilling her full passive, you don't necessarily have to. We're going to be taking a look at her at 55%, and we're going to see just how good she can be. Now obviously it's always difficult to equate the support units get. You can see, for example, a unit like Chi giving 120% defense is awesome, but you don't see that, if you get what I mean. You'll see her defensive stat, and you'll obviously see the augmented stats of all the allies, but you'll never see the effect it has until you remember what they did before, basically. So yeah, that's kind of how you gotta look at this. You can't really evaluate this unit just based on the premise of what she's going to do raw numbers wise. But performance-wise, she looks pretty solid. I would say she's probably most decent defensively, with 70% evasion. Very good if you can have that. So pretty viable in most content. 70% evasion is very solid. And with 88% defense after supering, she's going to have a pretty decent defensive number. It's not going to be huge, but it'll be enough to tank normals from a lot of the content, especially at max level. Maybe at 55% it'll be a little bit underwhelming, but essentially she over doubles her defense, if you want to look at it that way. It's essentially how it works. So she has a very nice ability there, and yeah, overall she looks very solid. Me personally, I think she looks decent. I would say she's an incredibly reliable unit. I would just think that maybe she's a little bit too difficult to kind of get everything all together. I think that's maybe the only place where I can see her being a little bit difficult to use, is the fact that it is quite difficult to get all the requirements. To have a Vegeta in the turn, to have 2 Pepe Girls units on the team, it's not impossible, especially now with Teq Pan being so good, but it's just, it's not like, she's not just a drop in and use type of unit if you want to get the max out of her. But if you just want to get a very good support, that's going to give you some good amounts of key and attack support, and then you're just not too interested in anything else, then I think she's going to be pretty good. Like I say, she'll be really solid. Defense wise, she'll be great after a super. Her attack won't be spectacular without a Vegeta on the turn, but in general she'll look pretty solid. She'll look really decent, and I think, for what she gives to the team and the ease of use that you can kind of drop her in with, plus 70% evasion is not really something to discount in any way, shape or form. 70% evasion is incredibly high, and honestly speaking is pretty highly reliable, at least from a surface level. It's pretty damn solid, and it's going to help her out in a ton of hard content. So I think overall I'd have to say that she's got a very nice kit, and I think you could definitely use her for like a lot of content. I think she's even possible to use in super hard content, especially if evasion is allowed. She may not do a lot in that content, in the sense that you're getting the attack support, but you could possibly bring a unit that does a bit more overall. But with 70% evasion, she definitely could be usable, and I think that's something that's very impressive. Highly evasive units do kind of have that ability to look super impressive if they dodge all the attacks. So yeah, for me, she looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy overall with her performance. I just wanted to get one more turn in with the B-Pan active skill, and with obviously a Vegeta in the turn, just to kind of see how big she could get in terms of raw attack and defensive stat. I just wanted to kind of see just how massive we could get it to be. And yeah, overall she gets to 2.1, which I think is pretty decent. Obviously she massively stacks attack, which is something that is, over time going to make her look very good. But yeah, in general it is definitely, probably more notable that as a unit she could, get to a much higher attack stat. Especially in a long event, she's going to be getting quite big overall. So for me, personally speaking, I would just say she can see a lot higher attack stats, but whether that's functionally what you're going to see is a little bit of a different story. But with that being said, she's very, very solid. I think overall she's a unit that's a lot of fun to use. I think she's great, and I think link set wise she's pretty strong. Not super mega strong, but pretty strong. And yeah, that's it. Obviously, in terms of links, I think she's got an okay link set. Like I said, Battlefield Diva is pretty good, Saiyan Lineage is pretty good, GT is pretty solid, Sharing the Limit's pretty solid. She links fairly well with Pans. I think, in case you couldn't imagine, of course she links well with Pans, being another Saiyan hybrid girl from GT. So that's mainly where you're going to find her. But because it links like the Innocent and Royal Lineage, she could link well with Trunks Youth units. She could also link very well with Goten units and things like that. So yeah, overall, pretty solid stuff. I think, as a unit, I would probably say her link set's bang on average. She's got some really strong links, followed by some kind of more niche links. Money, 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 although decent, is a little bit niche. There are some units that use it on the Pepe Gals team, but it is a little bit niche as a link set. And Royal Lineage is cool for Vegeta's family team, but with no other Pepe Gals units, you're basically running her at half capacity on a Vegeta's family team. So that's a little bit kind of disappointing, I guess, in terms of like overall ability. But yeah, overall link set wise she's solid, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with her link set. Like I said, I do think you could be running something a bit more powerful, I guess. As a unit, I think maybe you could find someone that links a little bit better than her with a lot of units, but she's got decent linking partners. I think her main kind of attraction is linking to units like Pan. I think that's where you get like a lot of the enjoyment out of running Bulla, is linking with Pan units or just being a floating support on a GT Heroes team is kind of where she needs to be. And I think she's got all the tools to do that. I don't think she needs to do much more to be a good unit on the GT team. She's got GT as a link, and that's basically 90% of the battle on a GT team. Yeah, you don't really need much else. And for Vegeta's family, like, yes, you could run her royal lineage in that, but it's not necessary. Having royal lineage as a link isn't really going to make her absolutely perfect. But yeah, overall, pretty good. I like her kit, and I think she's definitely usable. She's a lot more fun and a bit interesting to use. But that's it from me. Bye.